It's Inside the Cardinal Playbook with head basketball coaches Larry Holly and Jill Kress. And our special guest today on Inside the Cardinal Playbook will be Steve Broughton. He'll be visiting with Coach Holly, coach to coach. Let's start with Larry Holly. The Jewel men's basketball team split their two games this weekend, losing at home to Drury and winning on the road at Missouri S&T. Let's talk about the Drury game. First of all, I know it was a little frustrating experience for you against the Panthers.
Well, Drury's a very, very good team, and it was a bit frustrating. Got a little physical, and not necessarily proud of my first tee in several years. Maybe the first one you've seen me get. I don't know.
No, I've seen you get one other one, and I was going to ask you about that, but let's move forward.
But it was a very physical game. Drury is a very, very good team. Perhaps the best we've played. You know, you could make a case for Northwest Missouri or Newman or Indianapolis. But certainly one of the best, if not the best, that we've played. And they're on top of their game right now. They've got 5 guys that are all pretty complete players. They can all dribble and pass and shoot and catch and defend and rebound. It's an outstanding team, and you've got to be at your best to compete. We competed for a little over a half with them, and then you know, they're also an experienced team with an All-American type player. I thought we did a great job on Alex Hall.
Yes.
Their All-American candidate, Devontae Bell especially. But it was frustrating in that we couldn't complete plays, and we got in some foul trouble, and then, you know, that's what good teams do. They put you away, and that's what they did. And so congratulations to Coach Hester and his staff. And the Drury Panthers are an outstanding team, and they're on a roll right now.
72-55 was the final in that game. And you talked about the frustration. You were frustrated. You got the technical. Were the guys frustrated as well?
I think so. Again, Drury's a very physical team. And the word on us, I think, is get real physical with Jewel. And you know, the officials, in my opinion, kind of let it go a little too much. And when Devontae Bell got thrown into the lane for the second time in the same possession, I guess you could say I lost it, and but and Devontae was doing a great job on Hall, and but they passed on both those calls, and I kind of reacted to that a little bit, and I deserved the technical, and but we've got to step up to that, react to that, and then hope that those calls are made down the road.
How about Dylan Deck? He got a flagrant foul late in the game. It cost him a game the next game against S&T, which we'll talk about. But again, it looked like on the videotape he was shoved pretty good to begin with, but they always catch the second guy.
Well, he was, and it's no excuse for what Dylan did. What he did was inappropriate, and it was a deserved suspension for a game. I mean, he clocked the guy pretty good, and but he, you know, he's been battered and bruised all year, shall we say, and he's dropped about 15 pounds in the process. He's eaten an awful lot, but yeah, he started at about 230. He's down to about 215, and he had just taken a pretty good forearm into the back and reacted in an inappropriate way. Not excusing that. That's not what we teach. That's not how we coach. And so he deservedly sat out on Saturday's game, but he's got to learn to keep his composure regardless of what's going on in the game, and hopefully that's a lesson well learned.
The loss on Thursday night, though, was followed by a win on the road at Missouri S&T. No Dylan Deck in that game. You also had to be a little bit creative at the post area because of some foul trouble. Tell us about the S&T game.
Well, we're a little thin at the center position right now anyway, with Chris Jordan having decided not to continue at Williams Jewell and leaving us, and he was our backup center to Dylan. And then, you know, Dylan was suspended for the game, and so we moved John Taylor, who, you know, played center in junior college at 6'5", moved him from the 4 position to the 5, and moved Craig Matson from the 3 to the 4, which is probably a more natural position for him, and started Andrew Schofield at the 3. But John got 2 fouls in the first 4.5 minutes of the game, so he's sitting down. I bring in Clint McCullough, a freshman, who at the start of the year was our number 4 center, and at Rolla that day he was number 2, and within 5 minutes he's sitting down with 2 fouls. Yeah. So I have that silly 2-foul rule that none of our players like, but I just, you know, I don't want to go into the second half with anyone with more than 2 fouls. And so we ran Nate Croker, 6'6" senior, who's a combo forward, and Craig Matson, 6'6" senior, who's a combo forward in their center. And we survived. We had about I don't know what our biggest lead was, 17, 18, 19 points.
It was 19 in the first half.
And they cut it to 5, I believe. I know it was 5 at half. They may have cut it to a lesser margin, but we kind of held it off, and then came out and played well in the second half. It was a nice win. When you go into a game without your leading scorer and rebounder, and knowing that people have to regroup, I mean, everybody stepped up. I mean, everybody had a part to play. Jordan Lewis is still hampered a little bit with the ankle. Tried to play him a little bit, but really wasn't able to go full speed. And so we kind of rotated about 9 guys in there and got the job done. You know, we shot the ball well in the first half, but it was a true team effort. And I think it may have surprised S&T a little bit. I'm sure they had prepared for Dillon, and then Dillon wasn't there. But we got off to a great start, and 19-point lead in the first half. We shot lights out and we played well. And then their size got to us a little bit late in the first half. But we kind of survived the storm, so to speak, and survived.
89-74 the final on Saturday at Missouri S&T. Before we talk about Quincy and UIS coming up this weekend, let's talk about the style of play. You started out the year wanting to push the ball, and you've really emphasized that the last couple of games. You like what you're seeing there?
Well, yes. You know, we tried to push, but we weren't getting anything out of it. So we re-emphasized it a little bit about a week ago and just talked about sprinting with the basketball. You know, Dwight is our point guard. Devontae's Bell is our backup point guard, and what we're wanting them to do, we want to get the ball. If somebody scores, we want to get out of the net quickly, and we'd like to throw it ahead if somebody's available ahead. And if not, we want to sprint and dribble to the free throw line and see what we can create. It allows us to go to our bench a little bit more because that's tough when you're sprinting every time, and then you're also trying to play great defense. But you know, we had the ability to do that against S&T. Not everybody's going to let you do that. Maryville University, as an example, sends 4 guys back every time. They don't send anybody to the offensive board except 1. And so it's pretty difficult to transition offense against that. But we were able to do that some, get some early offense, and that's a style that I think fits us, and we're buying into it a little bit more in the last few games.
This weekend, it's Quincy on Thursday night and the University of Illinois Springfield Saturday afternoon. First time that we're going through the second phase of the Western Division. Rematches against these teams, especially UIS, a 3 overtime game on the road. What do you look at as you head into the weekend?
Well, it's only been 2 weeks. It's kind of strange that we
weird.
hit them back so quickly, but it's just the luck of the rotation. So we didn't play well the last 35 minutes of our Quincy game. That's who we play Thursday. You know, we're coming off that tough triple overtime loss on Thursday at Illinois Springfield. We go to Quincy, and I'm concerned about how we're going to open up. And we open up with a 12-0 lead in the first 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, wow, this is great. We're ready to play. And then reality check. Quincy, which had lost 6 of 7 at the time, you know, really stepped it up and played hard, and according to their coach, played their best game of the year. I think they would have beaten most people that day.
Right.
And they outscored us 35 points in the last 35 minutes of that game. So they pounded us pretty good. So I don't think it'll be a problem to get our guys motivated, but we're going to have to play well because Quincy knows they can, you know, they have the experience of handling us at their place. So we're going to have to play well. And then as far as Illinois Springfield is concerned, that's a game that, you know, could have gone either way. We had chances at the end of regulation and each of the overtime periods to get it done, and we didn't, unfortunately. So I don't know if the word payback is in line, but I know our guys are going to be ready. Those are 2 games that you know, we need to do well. They're both behind us in the standings, but they were behind us in the standings 2 weeks ago when they handed it to us twice. So we need to return the favor.
Duck Dynasty night is Thursday night here at the Mabee Center. It'll be a good time. Come out and see the Hawks and the Cardinals, both the women's and men's games starting at 5:30 on Thursday night. That's Larry Holly, the head men's basketball coach at William Jewell College. He'll be back with Steve Broughton in the final segment of our show. Up next is Jill Kress on Inside the Cardinal Playbook.
What's my motto? Play to win. What's the key? Logistics. It takes planning. Everybody on the same page. Check this out. This is my playbook. Serious business. Right player, right place, right time. Did it at the UPS store. Bam! High five. Color, pictures, charts, graphics. Nice, huh? I love logistics.
It says in the book we should play as a team.
Professional color printing. Now at the UPS store. Hi, this is Kurt McCoy with Shop Local 365 KC. Shop Local 365 KC, the new home of MetroFreeStuff.com, promoting local businesses and community organizations. Find us online at www.shoplocal365kc.com. Shop Local 365 KC, the new home of MetroFreeStuff.com. Proud to support William Jewell Athletics.
Inside the Cardinal Playbook continues with head women's basketball coach Jill Kress, who joins us after a big win at Drury against Drury on Thursday night, and then the loss at S&T on Thursday. Let's talk about the Drury game, because it was really a battle with a team that you've had trouble with the last 2 years.
Yeah, actually, last year we lost. There were close games last year. The year before that, 2 years ago, it was a blowout by about 40 points, and there's a very talented team. You know, their record isn't great this year, but they've been playing everybody close, and it was a great game to watch. You know, I had a lot of people come up and say that was one of the best women's games. It wasn't a high-scoring game, but it was, you know, really up and down, physical, and you know, obviously it was more fun for me that we ended up on the winning side, but it was a fun game to coach too.
Let's talk about the last play first. Chelsea Meeks in a tie game runs the clock down. You turn her loose a little bit. She takes a wing shot, misses it, but follows it up with a tip. Never touched the floor. She caught it in the air, put it back up, and hung on that back rim. Seemed like forever. Yeah. And finally went.
Yeah, actually, and that was a great thing about everything, that she didn't come down. She's about 5'3", and so when she caught the ball in the air, she at least made herself about, I give her a hard time about her height all the time, but that was a huge play. And she's been playing with so much confidence really over the past really since the Rockers game. It just looks like she's being more aggressive offensively. She still, you know, defensively causes so many problems, but that was a big shot, and you know, she had played so well, and she's been playing well, and I think she's pretty confident right now, and so we wanted the ball in her hands at the end, and you know, she took the shot, and she, you know, was aggressive enough and followed it, and knew the time and put the ball back in.
Is her aggressiveness something that she's kind of taken on herself? Have you talked to her about it? Is it a little bit of both?
Oh, I think that comes from her parents. You know, her parents are great and very supportive, but they're, you know, they're go-getters too, and you know, you just see that when she gets challenged, and we've talked about that before. You know, if she'll get picked or something, she's going to come back after you. It's a lot like Jess Stewart. You know, I used to laugh when Jess Stewart was player here, All-American, and when she'd get picked, you know, I knew it was going to be a long night for that player, and it's very similar with Chelsea. It's just something that you don't coach, you don't teach. It's just the type of person that she is, and she does that off the court too. She had a 4.0 this semester. Right. And yeah, she's a great person, great player.
Well, let me ask you this, because I asked you off the air, but is she an awful lot like you were as a player?
She's similar as far as personality, and my coach, I've talked to my college coach and my high school coach, and they both laugh because. And she knows that she's been a little bit of a challenge, but I love that. And you know, and when I played, I wasn't as good of a just shooter. I was a scorer, but defense. I love defense, and I think that's what she loves. You know, when I played in Iowa, you played 6 girl, but my school fortunately changed after my 7th grade year. But Shep, my high school coach, asked me one time if I would have wanted to play offense or defense, and it was always defense.
Really?
Yeah, I played on the offensive side, but I loved defense, because I think that you know, defense is hard work, and the people that are really good at it are the people that are really competitive and want to win, and you know, Chelsea has that.
Chelsea, of course, gets a lot of notoriety for hitting the last shot. She scored a lot of points, but who else played well for you that night?
Yeah, again, I just think that was just a great team win for us. You know, I'm a little different. You know, Coach Holly can come and repeat stats from I don't know how long ago, and me at the end, I'm more of just look at how the whole team played, and you know, either way was right or wrong. But I really thought as a team, defensively, we really played aggressive, and you know, we got down a little bit, and we'd fight back, and you know, I think they all played their roles and did well in that, you know, and we did that the last few games. It just looks like everybody's kind of buying into, you know, what we need to do to win, not how much they score, or you know, how well they play, or even how much time they play. It's really, and that's fun to coach, and sometimes that's tough to get everybody to buy into that. Yep. And we do, and I know I'm pretty fortunate to have that right now.
One thing I do want to ask you about stat-wise, though, was the rebounding edge. They out-rebounded you 50-25. Yeah. Have you ever won a game being out-rebounded that badly?
I don't think so. That doesn't happen very often.
Not very often?
No.
Well, let's talk a little bit about S&T, a little bit more sober of a subject. You go down to Rolla. Tough place to play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That it's always difficult to play there. Plus, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they are good, and they were leading the conference. I believe they're third right now, or second or third. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think we played horrible. You know, they're a good team.
Right.
We maybe didn't play with as much energy or shoot the ball as well as we have. But there were a lot of things that we did well. Coach Brown did a great job with scouting report, and Haley Parks only shot the ball only 6 times, made 3 of them. She's their leading scorer. We did a great job on her. They had a kid that averages 9 points that went off for 25, and I'll be quite honest with you, defensively, I thought we did pretty well on her. On as far as her threes, we usually had a hand up there, and it just happened, that she made them. And probably now looking back, there's some different defenses we could have run. Both Coach Broad and I kind of thought she'd cool off, and she didn't. And but they're a good team. I hate losing, but that one wasn't as upsetting to me as if I didn't think we played hard, and I thought we did.
The loss against S&T was a chance going in to possibly move into second place, but you're still right there in the middle, and you've got Quincy coming up on Thursday night leading the Western Division. Looking forward to that rematch?
Yeah, I was telling Coach Broughton they're going to be really well prepared, and I'm sure they're going to be fired up. They only have 2 losses in the conference, and so they're going to come in, and but I think our players have some confidence against them. We know they're a good team. They really struggled with our press, so I know that they're going to really focus on that an awful lot. But a lot of times when you have a team that struggled, that plays in their mind. And I know when we were in the heart of America, Mid-America always struggled with our press. It didn't matter. But I've talked to some of their players in the past, and they're like, we would spend the whole week just working on that. And I think sometimes that may get into those kids' minds, and I'm sure they'll be aware of that. And so hopefully that will still bother them a little bit. But we won by, I think, 24 points against them, and I don't expect it to be that easy here, and I know my players don't, but I'm looking forward to playing them again.
If memory serves, that was, I think, a 3-point or 4-point game at halftime. You played so well in the second half. That weekend, we were also playing at the University of Illinois Springfield. You won that game leading from wire to wire. They're your opponent on Saturday. And your thoughts on UIS? Yeah,
they're really athletic, and I think they're a good team also. And again, it seems like we talk about this all the time. From top to bottom, you can get beat by anybody or you can beat anybody. And I know Illinois Springfield, they're a talented team. They came back. We were up, I think we got out to a 16-2 lead or 16-0, and they came back and cut it within 6. And one of their top players really struggled and only played, I think, 9 minutes out of that whole game.
Right.
And I know she's going to play some more this game and probably be a little more prepared. And so I expect it to be another challenge. And again, our players know that we could still finish. I think we could finish still as high as second. I believe I figured it out right. But we could also finish at the bottom too. And so hopefully we're going to take Tuesday off, and I'm just going to talk to them about just getting kind of re-energized, get everything in a row, and then let's go make a run these last 5 games. And again, it's a great group to coach. I'm having a lot of fun with them.
Top 5 teams from each side will go to the conference tournament, plus 2 wild cards from the remaining teams, and the Cardinals working their way toward that. Again, Quincy Thursday night, Illinois Springfield Saturday afternoon, and Thursday night at 5:30 for the women's game is the start of Duck Dynasty night, so make sure you come out for that. That'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll have a lot of people there for it.
I've never watched the show, but I can tell you what, my sons are excited, and they're going to be in the camouflage, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited. Joel Lucan has really worked hard on organizing that.
Yes, he has.
And I think it'll be a lot of fun for the students and for our players.
That's head women's basketball coach Jill Kress. And when we come back, it's Coach to Coach. Steve Broughton, Jill's assistant coach, will be joining Larry Holly when Inside the Cardinal Playbook continues.
So, I'm my own man. I can work from home. I can make meetings, I can make deadlines, I can make proposals, I can remember birthdays, I can entertain clients, I can pay for lunch. Yeah, I can do it 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3:15. I can do anything. Done. On it. Yes. Taken care of. 50 2-sided bound color presentations by tomorrow. I can do that. How do I do that? I love logistics.
Poor Boy Oil Company is and always has been locally owned and operated. We promise convenience and service with small town values. We want you to choose Poor Boy again and again, whether you're looking for a hot cup of coffee to help start your day, grabbing lunch at midday, picking up milk at the end of the day, or heading for a Cardinal game any day. We're here to help you get you on your way quickly. Most stores are open 24 hours, so we're here when you need us. Poor Boy Oil Company. Find us around the Northland, wherever the Cardinals fly.
Time for Coach to Coach now on Inside the Cardinal Playbook. Here is head basketball coach Larry Holly with assistant women's coach Steve Broughton. Coach?
Hey, this is a special opportunity for me to visit with one of the all-time best players in the history of Williams Jewell basketball. I had the pleasure of coaching him his junior-senior year. He was recruited here by John Hickman, who was Jewell's first All-American basketball player. So my first 2 years at Jewell, Coach Broughton had to put up with me, but he was all-conference. He was our MVP, had a great career as a student-athlete, and then went on to an even better career as a coach at Truman High School, Concordia High School, and then the Green Valley Girls. So he switched over to the other side, but he's an outstanding person, outstanding coach. His dad was on our board of trustees, and it's an honor to have you here today, Steve, and great to have you back at Williams Jewell.
I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and enjoy working with you guys.
It's been interesting. I know you helped us a little bit after you graduated here, then went into coaching at Concordia and Truman. And tell us a little bit about your experience at Truman, a little bit about your experience at Green Valley. I know the Green Valley experience had to do with somewhat with your daughter Whitney, right, and being able to coach your daughter. What was that like, and what's a little bit of the difference between coaching male and female?
Well, first of all, I was very fortunate to get in there at Truman at a very good time. We had a lot of good players, and you know, in life, timing is everything, and certainly that's true in coaching, and I had a lot of success with some very good players. I quit coaching at Truman to watch my son play at Green Valley, and just in the process of doing that, volunteered to help with the girls at Green Valley, and that job came open right as my daughter was a freshman. 8th grade, freshman, and she wanted me to coach her, and it worked out for us, and I really enjoyed my 4 years there with her, and then just kind of fell into this thing at Jewell, and I've really enjoyed coaching at the college level. You know, I don't know, there's obviously a lot of differences coaching the men and the women, but both are a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it.
I know I failed to mention your son Jared, who obviously played at Green Valley and then played in our program and then was a student assistant in our program, and he's also gone into coaching. Tell us a little bit about Jared and watching him play and then watching him progress as a coach.
Yeah, it was really a blessing to be able to watch him play. I enjoyed that a lot. I'm glad he came to Jewell, and he's now at Oak Grove coaching the freshman boys, and he does a really nice job with them. I'm very proud of him.
One of the things about being an assistant coach is you have a lot of duties, you know, in terms of video preparation, scouting, that type of thing. But before I get into that, talk about the difference between being a head coach and now being an assistant coach.
Well, it's a lot easier to sleep at night after a loss, but you have to understand that your role, which is to kind of suggest things and try to give some new ideas or some different ideas, and as an assistant you have to understand that if that's not what your head coach wants to do, you have to be perfectly fine with that. It's obviously they're in charge and it's their program, so just try to suggest things, see things that I can see, and pass those along to Coach Kress.
Your coaching career is similar to mine in that you have not been an assistant coach very many years. I was an assistant for only 2 years after having been a head coach, I think, for 7 years. I felt a little more comfort and ease on the sideline. It wasn't decisions, it was suggestions. Things appeared to be a little bit clearer. Have you found that a little bit as an assistant?
Absolutely, yeah. I think there's some, you know, the head coach in me always wants to do some things, but there is a lot of comfort in that, and Coach Kress lets me do a lot of things, and I think she respects my opinion, and that makes things easier. I feel really good about the way we work together, and it's real comfortable for me.
I want to mention your father a little bit. When I took this job, we didn't have a team position. We didn't have a full-time athletic trainer. And it was a great comfort to me to be on the road or at home with your dad, who was on our board of trustees, but also a physician, was always there. What was it like growing up in the Broughton household with a father who was also a doctor and trying to take care of his son, who was an outstanding high school player at Truman as well as at Williams Jewell?
Well, my dad, I have such great respect for him, and he was such a big influence on me. I remember way back in the day going on house calls with him back when doctors did that. But he was always really good for me. You know, I didn't go see a doctor ever, which was nice. And when I got into coaching, if I had you know, at Truman with players that had injuries, a sprained ankle, whatever it might be, I could always sneak them in the back door at his office, and he would take care of them. And he was a great man, very, you know, probably the most unselfish person that I've ever met.
He was a great friend to William Jewell and certainly to our basketball program, and I still remember him coming to the high school holiday tournament. I'd always save a seat for him there at the scorer's table. He always enjoyed watching basketball, whether it was watching you or his grandkids or just following basketball in general. And miss him. I know you do as well. And it was nice for you to always have Mom and Dad up there in the bleachers watching you play throughout high school and college. The same for me. And that's something that you'll never forget in that great relationship. But Steve, it's great to have you on staff. Welcome back to William Jewell. A little belated. This is your second year with us, and congratulations on the success the women are having. I know you play a major part in that, and continued success for the Lady Cardinals.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
This is corporate headquarters. As you can see, I have a unique business. How do I compete with the big boys? Got this fancy business address, a marketing department, distribution center, got a great team, even a cafeteria.
That's mine.
From packing and shipping to printing and mailbox services, come into the UPS store for everything a small business needs.
I love logistics.
Hello there, what's your name?
Her name's Mom.
Well, Mum, I've got a great idea. Why don't we invite your neighbours over and grill out?
Okay.
It's going to be fun. Let's make some T-bone steak and my chimichurri sauce. Now, you want to get high visa manor steaks because they're 100% natural grain-fed quality beef. They look beautiful, mate.
Excellent.
Now, we just add a little bit of lemon zest to the sauce. It's so easy.
Like this, Curtis?
That looks delicious. Come and get it. Oh, honey, it's so good. Mission accomplished. There's smiles all around.
That will do it for Inside the Cardinal Playbook here for this week. Remember, it's Quincy Thursday night, Illinois Springfield on Saturday afternoon, and Duck Dynasty night will be Thursday night. We'll see you next week on Inside the Cardinal Playbook.